Hello, welcome back. This is video 3 of the 5 key portals to the womb of creation. We talked about the element of earth. We talked about the element of air. If you haven't listened to those, I encourage you to go back and do so. There's a journey, it's important, I believe, to get into ourself, into grounded into the earth energies. I think it's important to get into our heads so that we can open up those channels and bring that energy into ourselves. So today we're going to be talking about fire. Fire is my element of lesson right now, and so I'm learning about passion. I'm also learning about my own flame, and I'm also learning about what it is to be me, who I am, not just on a self level, but on a soul level. And so it's interesting, the journey. I'm learning that without passion, we have nothing. There's no flame, there's no fire, there's no anything to complete. But I'm also learning that there's a time for inaction, and inaction sometimes is also action. So, I want to talk about fire. Fire is the fuel that drives everything that we do. If we don't have fire, our life force energy will dwindle. And if our life force energy dwindles, then we're flat. And there's no possible way that we can serve in the way that we're here to serve if our energies are flat. Okay? So fire is like our baseline. And I want you to really think about fire. Fire is so passionate, Fire is masculine. Fire is action. Fire, if you look at fire, like Google a video of a fire, like in a mountain or something, and you can see that fire runs in a line, right? It follows a path. And whatever is in its path becomes its fuel. So if we're not moving along our path, then we have no fuel to move forward. And eventually, if there's no fuel for the fire, we burn out. Sometimes the fuel that we're running on is in our body, and so we're burning up our own life force energy, and then that's no good to anybody either. Sometimes fire energy is also stillness. Now, I want you to really think about that one, okay? Because sometimes there's a time to sit. There's a time to be in silence. And when we're in that silence, then we're in a place of listening. And sometimes we have to listen before we can take those steps that we're here to take. So sometimes inaction is action, and you have to be able to discern the difference between the two. So fire is important, and it's necessary, and oftentimes we either have too much fire or we have too little fire. And either one of those is not a healthy way to move forward. So right now, with where we are planetary, collectively as a planet, as a people, I feel that fire energy is what we are being called to wake up to. We're being called to turn our thermostats up or down, depending on how you use fire right now. But what's important for us to understand is that moving forward, fire is our key. And I'll get into that in a little bit more in a minute. Fire is fuel. I want you to say that to yourself. Fire is fuel. Too much fuel creates an explosion. Too little fuel will burn out the flame. So I want you to really sit in that. And then I want you to be able to take out your pen and your paper, and I want you to be able to close your eyes. And I want you to get into the space that says, I connect into the energies of fire as I call forth the element of fire. And I pose the question of, where do I place my focus today that serves my deepest passion? Didn't see that one coming, did you? Okay, so passion. What are you passionate about? And I don't want to hear the garbage about what you think you're passionate about. I want you to dig deep. What lights you up? What is that passion inside of you that wants to come out so much, but you hold it back because you judge how you'll be received, because you hold fear about being seen, heard, found, discovered? Really get into that passion, like find where your flame is. And I'm going to tell you a little secret, because the fifth element, that's a secret. It took me most of my life. And I'm 58 now. It took me most of my life to be in this space where I can talk about my passion and not have a fear around it. I had so much fear at one time that I was frozen. I was petrified in it. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't take a step. I couldn't move forward. I couldn't do anything. I was like the deer in the headlight. Sound familiar? But then something happened to me. And I don't know if it just the flame sparked, but sometime between, April and the Lion's Gate in 2019, 8/8/2019, did I have this whole experience where everything just exploded. My life exploded. Everything exploded. And what I discovered? Passion. And what I discovered is, if I don't start talking about it now, I never will. And how sad would that be, not only for me, but for my purpose here on this planet would go unheard. I would have a song within me that never got played. And so I call to you today with the element of fire, and I ask you to really get into the element and really pose the question, how can you bring your passion out into the world? Where is your fire being called forth now? And kind of sit in that, and then I just want to be in the space with you, and I want to create the space that says, I am one with the element of fire. As I breathe in and connect to the energies of fire, and I pose the question, where do I place my focus today to ignite my passion? And I just keep hearing the word rise, rise up. And if you've been watching the videos, you see that can't really do that right now. So I can rise up in my own energy. I can rise up in my own frequency. I can rise up and say, yes, hell yes. Sometimes it needs someone or something to kick your arse and get you up off the couch. So let me be that person for you right now. There is something with you, and you know it. You know it deep inside. You feel it. Let me be the one to help guide it out of you through the energy of fire. Don't you love it? Don't you just love the way the fire is coming out and really dancing right now? So be in the element of fire. Connect your fire to your air. Connect your air to your earth. And just start to feel the energy as it starts to course through you. And just feel it. Feel the energies coming alive within you. And that's where we're going on this journey. And I'll see you on the next video where we're going to be talking about water. I love you.